Okay guys, so I'm gonna show you how I paint wood trim. I've been doing this for years. In the 3 houses that I've owned, I always go in and repaint any wood trim white because that's just kind of my preference. But it is a bit of a process. It's kind of time consuming, but if you don't do it right, your paint is not going to adhere and your stain is gonna bleed through. So you do have to just do a couple steps when you're working with stained and sealed wood like this. So let me get started and I will show you how I do this. Okay, so the first thing that I do is I use some of this stuff. This is Spray 9. It is basically just a hardcore cleaner. It kind of acts as a degreaser and it just gets any kind of grime or anything that's on the surface off and gives it a nice clean start. Now I used this for my kitchen cabinets and it worked really, really well. But before this stuff, I actually was using a mixture of equal parts white vinegar and water. And that worked really, really well too. So if you can't find something like this or you don't want to use a chemical, the vinegar and water works really, really well. I did that for years and years and years. But since I have this left over from my kitchen and it works so great, I'm gonna go ahead and use it for this room. So I'm gonna just spray this on and then I'm directly gonna wipe it off with just a cloth. I'm just using a piece of an old t-shirt. And I just want to let this kind of dry for a couple minutes. And if your wood's really, really gross, then you probably want to use the spray twice. But I'm only going to do the one. And then next up is sanding. Okay, now the next step after you've prepared your surface is to sand. This is my least favorite thing to do. I absolutely hate it. Especially with trim like this because you've got all these little groove areas that you have to get in and get sanded. Because again, if you don't sand this well, again, your paints, it's not going to adhere as well and the stain from the wood can bleed through your white paint, which looks really, really bad. So you do have to sand it. I don't do the most fabulous sanding job, but I do make sure I get the surface roughed up and remove a lot of the sealant that's on this. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take a medium grain sanding block and I'm going to just sand this. Okay, I've got this all sanded. So now what I'm gonna do is take a piece of tack cloth and I'm gonna wipe this all down to remove the dust from the sanding. You don't have to use tack cloth. I don't always use it. Sometimes I'll just vacuum this off and then take like a wet cloth and clean it down that way. But I've got tack cloth, so I'm gonna use it. Okay, I've got all the dust off with the tack cloth and I just wanted to show you what the wood looks like up close. You can see that most of the shine from the wood is gone and that's pretty much what you want because then the paint can adhere a whole lot better. Okay, so the next step is to apply a primer. I'm just going to be using this Kilz. You can use whatever kind of primer you want. This is what I have on hand, so this is what I'm going to use. And you want to do probably about 2 coats of primer. Okay, I've got my primer done, a second coat, and this is what it looks like. So now this is ready to go for painting. And I'm just gonna be painting this white, so I will show you what I'm going to use for that. This is what I'm gonna be using. It's just semi-gloss ultra white paint. I've been using it on the doors I've been painting, and it works really, really well. For trim paint, I've also used Sherwin-Williams and Behr, and they both work really well too. But I've been really impressed with the Valspar as far as like wall color goes. Its coverage is really, really good, and so I kind of switched to using the Valspar for my trim paint too. And so far, I'm impressed with that too. So this is what I'm gonna use, and I will hopefully be able to get enough coverage with 3 coats. But I will go ahead and paint that and come back when it's done to show you the finished product. Okay guys, this is the finished product. Get a little closer so you can see it. I did 2 coats primer, 3 coats of white paint. It probably could take even more, but that's all I'm gonna do for this. That's what it looks like close up. It looks pretty good. And I don't know if like a different color you would use less paint, because I've only ever done this with white, and painting over a dark wood with white paint is a little difficult to get total coverage on. I'm gonna call this good. I also did my door and my windows and my trim. So this process, it does take a little bit of time, but I think the result is pretty good. And the more important thing is this will last for a very long time when you follow just a couple steps of prep. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.